Welcome back, guys, to Kerbal Space Explosion. We are on a rescue mission once again to pick up a couple of guys we sent to Moho in a stupidly overpowered rocket with no efficient parts and no landing legs. We landed on Moho with just one, the base rocket part, the biggest one. I can't remember what it's called. And actually, we're using the most powerful rockets on this guy this rocket that I threw together really quickly to go pick them up and to get that science back here so we can finish off the tech tree. The rocket we were using previously has like 2,500 power. The ones I'm using on this guy have 3,200 power. And I'm gonna click on it right here. Click. And this video is going to be one of the rare instances of me recording post-commentary over footage. I almost always do live commentary. However, I had an audio kerfluffle. I've been messing around with my audio settings lately. I've been experimenting with my microphone. I have a different preamp I'm using. I've been trying to get the most out of the most quality out of the system that I can. And something happened. I don't even know what. I don't know how it happened, but when I started my computer, it's like the computer wasn't recognizing that there was audio coming from the microphone, and I just restarted the computer, and it's working fine again. I don't know what happened, but whatever. We'll just move forward. Right now, we're burning. We're doing. You know what we're doing. We're gonna start the audio. No, I finished talking about audio. We're going to start the gravity turn in a second. I think when I was recording this, I was too busy talking and I forgot to gravity turn. So we're going to start a little bit late, not that it matters. This rocket is kind of ugly. It's not sexy, is what I'll say. It's functional. I threw it together very quickly because I wanted to go pick up the science from Moho, finish off the tech tree, so that we could move on to some projects that I've been wanting to get to. The biggie, the piece de resistance that I want to put together. I want to combine everything I've learned in Kerbal Space Program and all the different parts. I'm not going to use all the parts, but I wanted them all available to me. We're going to go to Jewel, and we're going to send a super mission. We're going to combine like 5 ships into one super ship, kind of like what we did with Eve, but even more badass than that. Remember that huge thing? It's gonna be bigger than that. But I think and when I stage these, the Separatrons did nothing. I wonder if that's some sort of like aerodynamic thing going on. I don't know why that happened. When I stage the next ones, the Separatrons make them curve outwards like a flower blooming, as you would expect. That time it didn't. I'm not sure why. But I want to send this super mission to Jewel, where we combine like 5 ships, send it to Jewel, and then we're gonna disassemble them and send 1 ship to each of the moons and then reassemble and come back. That's sort of like the master plan in my brain. I also want to fiddle around with the asteroids. Haven't done that yet with the 0.23.5 patch coming out recently. And what I would like to do with the asteroids, I'd like to get one and bring it into close orbit, like to within 100,000 meters of Kerbin. That would be cool. What else? Oh, there's some other like tiny things I'd like to make. I want to fiddle around with the ion engines. I've never really made anything with that. Maybe some more space plane stuff. And I also want to spend an episode or maybe 2 episodes flying around and looking at the various Easter eggs on Kerbin and on the moon. I know there's a second space facility which kind of looks abandoned. I think there's a few arches. There's like a 2001 inspired monolith kind of thing. I want to go look at those. So probably next episode we will start that. We'll spend an episode looking around at the Easter eggs. And since Easter for me, as of recording this, I think this is going to be uploaded in a few days, but as of recording this is the day after Easter, so I thought that was kind of appropriate. I kind of missed. It would have been more appropriate for me to release the Easter eggs video on Easter. Why didn't I do that? That would have been smart. Oh well. Anyway, we're zooming out. I'm going to look at our target here is not very far from Moho. It's just on a slightly larger orbit. That's our target right there. No, I think I messed up. Yeah, I think I targeted the flag for Moho. And I say, oh, well, whatever. We'll get to it later once I'm actually in orbit. When we come up, we have the apoapsis up to, I don't think that's like 80,000 meters or something. And we've got enough fuel to finish our orbit, and then enough after that to get us out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. We're sending Hudhat up to retrieve these guys. Hudhat is kind of, for me, he's my Jebediah. A lot of people sort of have these this affection for Jebediah, Bill, and Bob. And what a lot of people don't realize is I started playing Kerbal Space Program after people had developed those feelings. For a long time, Jebediah, Bill, and Bob were the only astronauts you could pick. Kerbonauts. They were the only Kerbonauts you could pick. And so people developed sort of a kinship with them. They felt this affection for them. They were the only ones that they had available, so they built up a series of moments and experiences with them and got attached. I never had that. I started playing after there was a whole bunch of random Kerbonauts that you could pick from. So I never had that attraction. And that's why I tend not to use Jebediah, Bill, and Bob. Because I feel sort of left out of that phase of Kerbal Space Program. And so I've definitely formed an attachment to Hudhat. I almost said attraction. That would be a little weird. I've definitely become attached to Hudhat. He's my favorite. And so I only send him on missions that I know will be successful. That's why, to be honest, that's why I didn't let him land on Eve, because I wasn't sure that Buzz would ever get off. I sent Buzz there because he's the test pilot, right? I sent Hudhat to Gilly because that's no problem. He will definitely be able to get off of Gilly and come home. So we're sending him on this rescue mission. That's how confident I am that we're gonna succeed. Let's see, what am I doing now? We got into orbit, and now, oh, that's right. I'm trying to target the lander, and I'm trying to distinguish between it and Moho. There we go. Yeah, that was it. Set as target, Moho. Or not Moho, the Moho lander, Megalander. Moho Megalander, mark whatever. And so we've got, it's on we can't see the ascending descending node because we're not in orbit around the same body. So we need to escape from Kerbin's sphere of influence, the SOI, as the technically minded like to call it, the SOI. So I'm going to speed around the planet, around the dark side of the planet. Hudhat's having a ball. He's always having a blasty. And I don't think I even use a maneuver for this. I think I just wing it. It's not very complicated. I just want to get out into orbit around the star, or Kerbal, whichever you prefer. I think I actually overshot my. I think I should have already started burning, but it doesn't really matter. We have the stupid amount of fuel, and I've got a lot of nuclear engines underneath these big, powerful guys. So we have a lot of efficiency baked into this spaceship pancake. Pancake? Whatever. Pie? Cake? I don't know what kind of analogy I was going for. But we're going to use these guys for the majority of this burn. And then after this point, I didn't bore you with the recording. I didn't bore you with all the little fine-tunings of the orbits and stuff. I'm going to give you a few clips. You're going to get a few clips. We're going to escape from the sphere of influence, and then we're going to correct our inclination, etc., etc. Get close to the orbit of the guys, and then slowly get close to them. The new particle effects for these engines are really nice, and the sound is different too. They sound a little bit more muscular, like a muscle car. They're the muscle car engine parts of Kerbal Space Program. And here's the escape, right? Bloink, right? Bloink. No, bloink. There he goes. All right, and I think I decide to go ahead and finish off the rest of my fuel and stage. Do we get to see the stage, or did I edit? Stage? Stage. There we go. Flower bloom. All right, so here is the first of the corrections. This one we're correcting the inclination, so we have an ascending node of 0 degrees. And we're just burning to the north to correct that. And then in a second here, we're going to have a clip of burning retrograde to bring our orbit down so that we're close to the other orbits. Right here. And blink, there we go. Oh, and there's one of our first set of fuel tanks gone. We have way more fuel than we're gonna need. I over-engineered the thing. I wanted to get it done. I built this rocket actually really quickly. Okay, and then this one, oh, that's right. I have a maneuver, and we're burning to get into a reasonable amount of distance from our targets. And then after that point, I don't film any of the approach and approach correct stuff that you do when you're trying to rendezvous with a target, because it's kind of tedious. We've done it before, and we'll just cut straight to where we are when we get close, right here. And I mentioned that I threw together this rocket very quickly. I did it so quickly. I have a huge RCS tank on there, but no RCS thruster blocks, so we can't actually use the RCS fuel. But since we're not actually docking with this ship, we just want to get close. It doesn't actually matter. This guy turns kind of slowly. It's not that bad. I've got reaction wheels on either of those side tanks. There's the RCS tank right there, the big one, that holds a lot of RCS fuel we're never going to use. And then we're going to burn retrograde, and this is well within easy EVA distance for the two guys on the other ship. So they're going to fly over in just a second. There we go. I think I'm just going to fine-tune it, get it basically close to 0. As long as it's close to 0, that's fine. Yeah, good enough. All right, let's switch over to the other guys and blip. Switch. Come on, switch over. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about here, but you should be switching over. There you go. All right, good. And this is the lander can. And I think what I'm doing here, I'm double checking that I got all the science out of these little devices, the accelerometer and the gravioli detector. I did that off camera, but I'm just double checking just to make sure. Yep. If it says log gravity data and whatnot, that means that I already took the science out, and I can check there, and it says you have that many pieces of data in the can, EVA, and then you right-click and you say take data from the. There you go, and then it tells you everything you got. And then we're just basically just fly down in there. It's not too tough. And I have a little bit of confusion. I don't use this huge lander, not lander, command pod. Have I been saying lander? I mean command pod. This big command pod that holds 3 people, 3 Kerbals. I almost never use it, so I'm not used to getting in and out of it. And I fly right by the entry port, looking for it. I recognize that that's the ladder, but I'm like, that doesn't look like an entry hatch to me. So I'm like flying around it. Where is it? Where is it? Because I don't use this guy very often. I think it might be that. No, that's a window. And then I realize, oh, it was by the ladder. Surprise, surprise. Okay, yeah, that's it. Good. Yeah. Oh, look, it says hatch. What do you know? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the hatch. I'll put my mouse cursor on it and spin it around in a circle. Then we'll get close. Oh, yeah, I was a little bit worried. That's what I was talking about. I remember because I was looking at the parachute. I was worried once I realized there were no thruster blocks for the RCS. I was a little bit worried that I didn't put a parachute on it, so I was double checking there that there was, in fact, a parachute on our lander can. Otherwise, we'd have to send another ship up to rescue this guy once it gets in orbit around Kerbal. But, disaster averted. We actually have a parachute. Now he's going to fly over. And I know where the hatch is this time. So this will go even quicker. Just flying on down. And we have a lot of fuel left. I could have done this with a ship much smaller. I just wanted to, I did it quickly. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I'm just like, I'm going to over-engineer it and put a bunch of nuclear engines on the thing. We're going to go get these guys. We're going to finish off this tech tree. And then we're going to say, take that, Kurt. Finish the tech tree before you. Yeah. Even though we reset it in 0.23 and you didn't. Blah, blah. Suck it. Okay, now they're both in. Goody, goody gumdrops. And the next thing to do is to go back. Go back to Kerbal. I don't know what I'm doing right here. Oh, I'm trying to unset target. That's right. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm trying to right-click on this guy. Like, unset target, unset target. It won't let me from here. So we've got to go back to the map screen. And, yeah, there we go. Unset target. I could have just went to Kerbal and set that as target. It would have swapped it. It would have switched it. There we go. And then we try a little maneuver node to get into an encounter. And lo and behold, we're pretty much in the perfect spot. Not the exact perfect spot, but a pretty good spot to get into an encounter. So I do some fine-tuning. Okay, yeah, no big deal. And here we are burning for home. And we're going to have a lot of fuel left over. Now, once they start adding prices to the game, I think I'm going to be in trouble. Because everything I make is huge, will be very expensive, and I don't know how I'm going to make up the money to pay for this stuff. I may have to change the way I play if they ever do that, if they ever add money to career mode where you have to actually pay for things. That sounds terrible. It may not be terrible. It could be an additional challenge. But yeah, I will have to rethink some things because I waste a lot of fuel. Oh, there it is. Back to Kerbal. And there's the shockwave ripple of the textures loading in. And from here on out, it's child's play. I mean, this whole mission was pretty simple, to be honest. And look how much fuel we have left. We still have 2 of those side tanks with a little bit of fuel. And that center tank, which is the size, I think it holds a bit more than an orange tank. So we have an orange tank's worth of fuel, at least. And we're just going to crash on down. Here comes the re-entry effects. Should be any second now. 3, 2, 1, go. There they are. And then we're going to get rid of those guys. Separatrons doing some funny stuff. I burned the engines just to separate from those guys a little bit. There we go. And then turn SAS off. You don't need the SAS anymore, buddy. Turn it off. Come on, you don't need it. Not necessary. Turn it off. Turn off your SAS. Turn it off. I'm getting kind of pushy, aren't I? I remember sooner or later. I still don't. Come on. Oh, once I start maneuvering, I'm like, oh, I don't need to do this. I can just turn it off. Right? Tell me I do that. Did I not do that? Maybe I didn't do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's off. And look, it naturally, aerodynamically goes right to where we want it. And then pop the parachutes. And I think I time accelerate down to 500 meters. Physical accelerate down to 500 meters to where they open. Even though there's only 2 parts to this ship currently, I'm still a little paranoid about the Kraken. And then we go back to 5 times, or 4 times, I guess. Down into the water, and let's see how much science we have. I didn't bother to add it up, so I don't actually know at this point. And sploosh. There we go. And recover, and back to the science center, and we have about double what we actually needed. We brought back a lot of science. So if they add extra nodes to unlock in the future, I'm gonna have a stockpile. When we go to Jewel, I will probably collect more science as well, just for fun, and then we can get these space shuttle parts, which I've never used. And then we've got 3 different sized probe cores. Gives us some options. Good. Research. And then this guy, the 4,000 electrical charge battery pack. Very cool. And then this, the generator, generates electrical charge per minute. It's like a solar panel that never turns off, never requires the sun. It just generates electricity. So that's going to be handy dandy for a number of applications. And now that we've finished the tree, we can move on. I think next time we're going to go look at the Easter eggs, and after that, we're either going to mess around with meteors or maybe not head towards Jewel, but start planning the Jewel mission, start designing the parts. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.